The Tag Heuer Aquaracer. It's been around a long time, has had quite a few alterations, though it always still kind of looks the same. But about 2 years ago, they introduced the latest version. This one with a more angular case and bezel, a more aggressively lined dial, a nicer bracelet, a new rubber strap, both with a new sliding micro adjust clasp. And of course, there's a bunch of colorways, and I'm sure we'll see a lot more as time goes on, along with limited editions, etc. The 300, that's in the middle of the Aquaracer lineup, with the 200 Solar Graph model being a little cheaper, and of course that new Pro 1000 being the top of the line model. This one starts at $3,300 for the rubber strap I have here for review, and $3,500 if you opt for the bracelet. There's also a new GMT version for $3,900, but I'm going to concentrate mostly on this blue one I have in hand, so let's get to it. On screen, you will see all the specifications. And before we head into this review, allow me to tell you that this watch came from Saltzman's Watches of Newport, a dealer I have done quite a few reviews for in the past 2 years. And they are, of course, an authorized dealer for Tag, along with many others. If you like this watch and would like to order one from them, or any Tag for that matter, go to the description. I have their email and phone number down there, and tell them you saw this review from Watch Report for pricing and availability. Okay, so a few things here. Now, I've always had a soft spot for the Aquaracer, and I've owned two of them over the years. An older model quartz, probably going back over 10 years now, and I believe it was a 2012 model year caliber 5 automatic version, or calibre 5, however you want to pronounce that. Now, that one was the one that had the date at the 9 o'clock position and that funky record style bezel insert deal. Now, anyways, who knows why I got rid of them back then. I did a lot of trading and selling, always chasing something new. And I know on one of them, I just didn't care for the clasp. It lacked the adjustment, and I couldn't get the perfect fit with the large bracelet links. Now, when Tag introduced this new version, I really did love the look. The case design, the dial texture, that magnified date at 6, but like Tag does, you don't have that magnifier on top of the crystal, it is under it, which is much more to my liking. But I haven't seen it in person until now. And I chose this rubber strap version as Saltzman's did have a bracelet version to send me, but I looked at the rubber and I believed it was a strap that didn't need to be cut to size, and that intrigued me. Now, I was wrong. I should have looked that up first, but even if I chose the bracelet, this piece is on loan and I cannot size that either, so in the end, not a big deal, and I will talk more about that rubber strap and clasp in a bit. The overall look and design of this piece stays somewhat the same over the years, though I will say the new angled case and that hexagonal style bezel really does stand out, and I love the look and feel of this piece. Now, being picky, I'd probably prefer a matte ceramic bezel insert over the high gloss that easily shows smudges and fingerprints and never kind of wants to stay clean, but it is fine. The bezel itself, at least on my example, seems a little too easy to turn though. Now, that just may be the way they all are. There is the slightest amount of play, nothing that makes it off-putting, but I would have liked something a little bit tighter. The crown is pretty solid though. I haven't noticed any issues in the past few weeks, and it's very easy to grip and use. One thing you will notice about the case of the 300 is thinner than most past Aquaracers, and yes, this is only 300 meters water resistant compared to 500 meters of past models. For me, I appreciate the thinner case, but some of course may wish for more water resistance, but like I said, I don't dive. One thing I absolutely love is the case finishing. Look at those lines, that incredible satin brushing, and that nice polished chamfer. The case finishing here really is top notch, and it not only looks great, but it feels great to the touch. The lined dial has become even more prominent, and it's hard to tell with some of the other dial colors without seeing them in person. But this blue definitely has a light catching finish to it, and I want to say sunburst, but I don't think that's exactly it. but I do love the hue of this dial and how if you turn the watch a little, how differently the light catches it, and those horizontal lines get even more pronounced. Now, not sure how I feel about the Aquaracer name being placed above the tag shield. That's an interesting choice, and I know in the past models, at least the ones that I'm familiar with, it was always below the shield. I'm not 100 on it if this is the first model to switch it up, but it probably would still look better the old way. Otherwise, the dial text is relatively clean, and that Cyclops being under the dial keeps the sapphire crystal flat. And on top of that, it really magnifies the date so I can read it easily. I wish more brands would adopt this. And those hands and those beautiful applied indices, they are filled with a good amount of superluminova, and it's that dual lume as well here. And this looks great in the dark, and it's going to last a few good hours, about 4 to 5 from my testing. Go ahead and take a look. But like most watches I review, there are a few things that need to be pointed out here. First, let's talk about colors. Take a look at that blue bezel, the blue of the dial, and what Tag apparently calls blue on the rubber strap. Now, if I tilt the watch just right and I get it in the most perfect lighting, it could kind of all look like it matches. Or if I were to spend half an hour on color correction and editing of a photo, I could get it to all look like it matches. But the reality is, it doesn't. The blue of the dial is a different color from the bezel. Matter of fact, in most lighting, that bezel looks more bluish green than anything else. And the rubber strap color, bluish, gray, purple, that pretty much describes it. And I really just don't love the color of this strap. I think they could have went with a much more vibrant blue and matched it up better to the dial. And how's that rubber strap? Well, I really can't tell you how it fits because as you can see, this strap is extremely large. And since you have to cut it, I can't show you how much I would have to cut off for my 7.5-inch wrist. It's nice enough as far as the look and design, and it's a nice fitted rubber and fairly pliable. And the adjustable clasp is fantastic, but brands have got to stop with straps that need to be cut, especially at this price point. And speaking of price point, what about movement? The Caliber 5 is either an ETA 2824 or an SW 200-1. Which one is in this? Apparently it's a crapshoot. Both have the 38-hour power reserve, and as we all know, are extremely comparable and widely used, and of course, easily serviced. And I have been told these latest ones are at least top grade and decorated nicely, even though we can't see them as we have the solid diver helmet casebacks, which I prefer anyways, but I can't stop thinking about the $3,300 price point. Having a 38 power reserve ETA or Solita is a little crazy. Actually, a lot crazy. I mean, Titoni has an in-house movement at $1,000 less than this. And brands using these movements in their dive watches like Oris, Alpina, Christopher Ward, just to name a few. I mean, what do you think? Is the pricing justified here? Or should this be $1,000 cheaper? Or at least have COSC, if not in-house movement, for the price? Let me know down in the comments what you think. I have to be real here. I was stoked about this piece and I still love the look, but the colors of the bezel and the strap and dial not really matching, and that strap needing to be cut along with the rather mundane movement, all for the price of $3,300, is somewhat astounding to me. The finishing on the case is superb, the dial looks great, and I love how nice and thin it is, but possibly this one would be better suited for me at least on a bracelet and with a black dial. What are your thoughts on this new Aquaracer? Make sure to let me know, and if you're interested in this or any of the Aquaracer lineup, or any tag model for that matter, make sure to hit up Saltzman's Watches and make sure to mention this review. There will be a written review on watchreport.com if you would like to check that out. Link is down below. Please make sure to like this video, and if you can, and you're not subscribed, do that along with turning on notifications. It really helps out this channel. Only takes a few seconds and of course is free. And you can take one step further and follow us on social media. It is at Watch Report on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. This is Don Evans from Watch Report. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.